Imagine that you're the #1 recruit in the country for your sport. You sat in every head coach's office that you want. Everyone wants you to be a member of their team. You've gotten a scholarship offer from every school in the country. Your future's looking very bright. You commit to one school, best school in the country. Half the season's gone, you're playing well. It looks like you're going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. Your whole future's ahead of you. One game, you go up. You block a shot, you land awkwardly on your knee. Your ACL's gone. There goes your future. You slip to 6th pick in the draft. You miss 2 of your first seasons. No one's sure if you're going to make it in the pros. You bounce around from team to team. You receive no medical compensation from the school. None at all. You're stuck with all your school bills. If you're not on scholarship, you pay for your school. You're stuck with all your medical bills. Imagine that. I believe that college athletes should have some sort of medical plan in state for them to ensure their safety while they're in school. And I believe this for 3 different reasons. First of all, I'm going to talk about the time commitment that comes with playing sports while in college. Then we're going to move on to the rules for turning pro once you leave high school. Finally, we're going to end with the money that is generated through college athletics. So first of all, according to Ramogi Huma, who's the founder of the National College Players Association, student athletes spend over 40 hours a week on their sport. And this is including the off-season when there's no competition at all. Imagine balancing a full-time job with school. I have a hard enough time just balancing school myself, let alone 40 hours a week at least for sport. This includes the off-season, as I said. Just practicing, preparing for the upcoming season. It's stressful. It's tiring. Next, I'm going to move on to schoolwork. Try balancing all your classes, at least 15 credit hours, most years more than that, with a full season of sports. It's going to be a lot. It's a lot of work. Next, we're going to move on to the regulations for turning pro. In 2005, the National Basketball Association implemented a rule saying that you had to be at least 19 years of age to enter the draft. So, players like LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, who went right from high school, that was no longer going to happen anymore. That means these players were forced into playing college sports. Players such as Ben McLemore, who claims, he wrote a big article stating that him and his family grew up very poor. They never had any food on the table, and sometimes he wasn't sure when his next meal was going to come. He used basketball to escape poverty, but he couldn't go right into the NBA and make money right away. He had to play a year at Kansas. He had to play a year in college. He wasn't being compensated at all for his efforts. This happens far too often. And then we move into a girl named Erin Crowner at Colgate University, who injured her leg in a crew accident. She paid $80,000 in medical bills, on top of paying for her school at Colgate, which is a very expensive school. $80,000 in medical bills. Not 1 cent was compensated by the school. I don't believe this is right. Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel was an NBA a center at the University of Kentucky. He went into the University of Kentucky as the #1 recruit in the whole country. He was going to be the #1 pick. He went up for a block against Florida. He landed on his right ACL, tore his ACL. He slipped to 6th pick in the draft. Sat out his whole rookie year. Got traded by 2 different teams. Received no compensation for this. So now that I've talked about that, let's move on to all the money that athletes generate for their schools. In 2014 alone, the University of Alabama raked in about $143 million within all their athletic departments. According to an article from Forbes, this is more than all 30 National Hockey League teams. So that means we're having colleges rake in more money than all professional hockey teams in a single season, and yet no one's being compensated for their efforts. And when I say no one, I mean not the athletes that are winning the games, that are actually doing the work. But we insist on paying coaches such as Bill Self, such as Nick Saban. We pay them at least $3 to $4 million a year. They're the one coaching. The players aren't getting compensated for anything. The athletic directors are being paid for everything, but not the players at all. I don't believe this is right. So I've talked about the time commitment that these athletes work with their sport and school, I've talked about the rules for turning pro and how you can't turn pro directly. You're forced to go to college for a year. And I've talked about the money that is generated from schools within their athletic department. I believe that we need to instate some sort of insurance policy for the health risk of our athletes if we're not going to pay them completely and compensating them. Thank you.